you have a locker room in there right now that is crushed. This team, this program came into Lincoln today expecting to win a football game. They walked in here and we challenged them to play for 4 quarters. There's no doubt in my mind that our young men did just that. They played their tails off for 4 quarters. Did we leave some things out there? Would we like to execute a little bit better in certain areas? Absolutely. But proud of our effort. Certainly not satisfied with the result. Disappointed with the result. That team's disappointed with the result. We're going to have to do an incredible job as a staff and as a program as a whole of lifting this group back up, getting back to work on Monday and preparing for a really good Maryland team. But the expectation is that, we're at our best back at Ryan Field with a great opportunity to play Big Ten football and find a way to get a win. The thing that I'll say very clearly and the expectation that this group has set, for the beginning of the season and moving forward, this group is up to the challenge. This group is up to the challenge. We found a way to win, 3 games up to this point. We walked into a hostile environment against a very good Nebraska team that's very well coached. We should expect to have an opportunity and should expect to win every opportunity that we have moving forward. So the things that are still ahead of this team is something that I'm excited about. We're going to continue to push this group to be at their best, and can't wait to get back to Evanston and get back to work.
Coach, your offense kind of stalled when you guys got in Nebraska territory. What did you see from that standpoint of the field, and what do you think could be cleaned up?
It'll be a great opportunity to go back and look at the film with the offensive staff and identify those areas that we can continue to work. There were some really positive things, in the run game at certain points today. Again, a lot of those drives are stalling out and credit to Nebraska. That is an aggressive defense that's really well structured, but we got to continue to find ways to stay efficient, whether it be in the pass game, the run game, and stay ahead of the sticks. And I think what showed up with some of those drives, especially in the red zone, stalling out was situations where we're going backwards.
Coach, speaking of that, the tight ends had 3 penalties today on a lot of run plays. I know you talked about you'll accept aggressive penalties earlier this year, but what do you have to do to clean up because these are moving you backwards?
Yeah, we got to continue to evaluate it. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to get your hands inside. You got to run your feet. There's holding on every single play. We know that. As a former defensive lineman, I always tell myself and others that the second you're looking for a holding call, you might as well point at yourself. It's your fault that you're getting held. In terms of the way that we can control it, we got to continue to move our feet. We got to be feet first mentality. We got our hands inside, and when that defender starts to reach and get out of our framework, we got to release and run our feet through contact.
Coach, can you take me through your line of thinking through the end of the first half? You guys had the ball moved up 15 yards or so, got to around the 40-yard line before running through that pick.
Yeah, there were some opportunities at the end of the half when we're on defense and Nebraska was going in where we could have called some timeouts to give ourselves more time if we got the ball back offensively. I didn't feel like it was the time to give them more time to process offensively how they wanted to structure it. We did get the ball back. Mike made the first call as a run play. We felt like if we got the ball moving in a positive direction, we'd let that offense go. And then we got to an area in the field where we felt like we could push the ball downfield in a Hail Mary situation and give our guys a shot. That's an interception that goes on Sully's stat line but is inconsequential, and felt like we gave our guys a chance to hopefully come down with the ball and score some points.
Hey, Coach, defense generates turnovers 2 of the first 3 drives. Hunter had that punt down to the 1. You started the first 3 drives in Nebraska territory. You came out with 3 points. Like, how big was that in the grand scheme of things?
In hindsight, it's huge. We're going to continue to harp on it. It's something that Mike harps on and we all harp on when we get into the red zone area offensively when we got advantageous field position. We got to find ways to turn that into 7 points. And, again, we can point back to it and be frustrated with the result. We got to just continue to go back to the process. What are we doing in our pre-snap communication, in our processes to set ourselves up for success and put ourselves in situations to get ourselves in the end zone. Yeah, no, that's a great question. The old line plays a critical piece in that. So do the backs. So do the wide receivers in their timing. So does the quarterback in terms of getting the ball out on time. There's so many factors that go into that. And we'll go back and we'll evaluate it. We'll find creative ways to continue to create time. But it's everyone that plays into that. And a credit to Nebraska's defense. They're extremely aggressive. A lot of exotic looks. And at the end of the day, when they have opportunities, then when they're up and they can be ultra aggressive, it becomes awfully difficult on that offensive line. I fully trust that Coach Anderson and that group will continue to work their tails off to ensure that they're protecting our quarterbacks. But we also have to, take full ownership as an offense and as a team. Let's get ahead in games so that we can run the ball and milk the clock. And on the offensive side of the ball, let's all play our role to make sure that Sully has opportunities to get the ball out on time.
Coach, speaking of Sully, how would you evaluate his performance today? And was there ever a consideration throughout the game of making a change?
There wasn't a consideration. I'm proud of Sully. That's how I'll characterize. I'm proud of that young man. Put it all out on the field, and that's all we can ask of these guys. And I'm not pleased with the result. None of us are pleased with the result, but I'm damn proud. I'm damn proud of Brendan Sullivan.
Coach, a big interception by Devin early, first play from scrimmage in the game. What about his preparation made him ready to step up and make such an early impact?
It's just him honing in his process. A lot of things that we talk about, but that's a young man that continues to grow, continues to improve, and at the end of the day, they had a great opener, a shot play, a call that stresses the defense that we were in. He did a great job playing visually, attacking the football, and finishing. It was an awesome way to start off the game.
Coach, Richie Haggerty did not play today, despite you kind of indicating that he would on Monday. Was there anything that changed in that process that led to him not making the trip?
Yeah, we were really hopeful that he would. We were really hopeful that he would. It's sometimes those injuries, there's an ebb and flow as guys come back. Lot of positivity in terms of where he was trending. As we got later in the week, we just knew that he wasn't going to be able to make it happen. But really excited and hopeful to get him back here for Maryland.
On a positive note, how big a factor was Hunter Renner today?
Oh, awesome. And then Luke comes in with a big kick as well. Our execution on field goal. I know we put Jack out there for an extremely long field goal that ended up coming up short. But really proud of the way that our kicking game executed today.
Coach, you stressed earlier this week you need to get 11 hats to the ball when facing Harvard. How do you evaluate your defense performance against him in the run game today?
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to go back and watch the film. The one explosive play near the end of the half that led to a touchdown was frustrating and disappointing. But overall, I thought that group battled their tail off, and 11 guys swarming, playing with good leverage, a forced fumble early in the game, playing with the demeanor, tempo, and edge, or urgency to them. All things that we expect to see out of this defense. And now the challenge moving forward is build off that. Let's see if we can ramp it up even that much more and find ways to continue to grow and build. So excited about the opportunities that we have moving forward for this football team.
Bradley, Coach, you guys have now dropped your last 14 games in true road environments. What do you feel like has been the difference playing at home versus on the road, and how do you kind of hope to better that?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'll go back to these last 2 weeks, and specifically this last week, we had a focused team. We had a focused team in the hotel. We had a group this morning that was amped up and ready to go, a team in the locker room that was ready to roll, a team at warm-ups. What I will say is I thought our group did a great job of handling this environment. A very well-coached football team in one of the best environments in college football, and they stared that thing down. They were where their feet were at, and they played their tails off. If we can continue to have that approach when we're on the road, the wins will come.
Last one, David.
Coach, we saw Braun, out on the field without any protective gear on. Do you have any update on what type of injury he's facing, what the timeline for him looks like?
No update on the specific injury or the timeline, but we do expect to get Ben back at some point, and hopeful that for him, we're just excited about the way that he's pushing through and continuing to take it one day at a time. But we are confident that we'll get Ben back here at some point.
Do you expect for him to be ready for Maryland next week?
That's hard to say right now. We'll continue to evaluate that with the medical staff and as Ben continues to progress.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, everyone.
In the safety room, we always feel like we're the heartbeat of the team. At the end of the day, I feel like we have great depth in the room. We rotate guys the whole game, and we feel like everyone can go out there and make a play. So just coming into that and knowing that, hey, it's on us, make a play. And, to start the game, they came out amazing. 2 interceptions in 5 minutes out of the safety room. That's amazing. So we just got to keep the pedal down and do things like that.
Jake, you saw Devin grab his first career interception today. Have you seen him grow since you started playing alongside him?
Devin he acts like a coach's kid, if I could say that. Devin's always in the room with the coaches when they're watching practice film and things like that. Devin loves the game of football. And, he puts the preparation in. So to see him make that play, there's no surprise. He'll hate that I say this, but at the end of the day, he should have about 5 picks right now because he dropped a few. So, he's always in the right spot. He's a good player.
David?
Coco, from the start of the season now, what do you think has been the biggest improvement in this defense, especially in
I think the physicality. I mean, I feel like to start the game, I mean, we came out and set the tone. I mean, guys knock back tackles, things like that. That's a big emphasis, like not letting the offense fall forward. So I feel like when we bring the mentality like that, I think like hard to stop us. So I feel like the physicality that we've been bringing in, like that's been great.
And speaking of that physicality, obviously playing a quarterback like Harvard, you're going to be much more involved in run support. How do you prepare knowing that you're going to be spending a lot of games getting downhill into those primary run support?
Shout out Cole Freeman. I mean, he's our scout team quarterback right now, about 6 foot 220. I mean, so he's running the option the whole week for us. You know, getting down, getting in people's faces. So I mean, he prepared us definitely for it. I mean, so having a guy like that in the room, being able to just set the tone in practice, so knowing how once we get to the game, it's not the first time we saw it. So, but yeah, shout out Cole.
Brandon, Coco, you guys had a really good showing defensively, keeping Nebraska out of the end zone for the most part. But how do you guys maintain your spirits when you see the offense on the other side of the ball kind of stall out and stuff like that?
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it's a simple game. If the other team doesn't score, you're not going to lose. So, I mean, yeah, we had some good stops, but they score more points than us. So we look in the mirror, we got things that we can fix, and we get back to the drawing board. I mean, that's honestly the answer at the end of the day.
Coco, being a senior captain, playing special teams on everything, the unit really today showed out. What do you see on that third of the game, that phase?
I mean, guys embracing our role. I mean, a lot of guys out there on special teams they didn't come here to play special teams. They came here to play offense and defense. But at the end of the day, that's a third of the game. So sometimes you just got to suck it up and play it. And I mean, no guys don't bat an eye. I mean, it's time to play. Like you said, I'm a senior on special teams. I love it. I get to start the game off. I mean, I'm on kickoff and kick return. Like, why not start the game off? Why not be on special teams? I mean, so yeah, we love it.
Yeah, Coco, you had a few pretty big hits on sort of the running backs, on Nebraska running backs. How would you say kind of like that aggression kind of carries over on the defensive side towards the whole defense? And going forward, how can you continue kind of having those big hits, of course, fumbles?
Speaking to the first part of your question, I feel like I see myself as a tone setter. I feel like the guys feed off of that. And once you get, like, Coach Braun says a lot, like, celebrate process victory. So, yeah, we get a big hit, they gain 3 yards, but, oh, well, like, we're setting the tone right now. And then once the guys start to believe that and breathe that, I mean, you can see it. I mean, knockback tackles the whole game, the defense rallying, defense on fire, defense is having a good time out there. So I feel like that physicality makes everything else a little bit easier because it makes the other offense think a little bit more.
Thanks for Coco. Awesome.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All week we kind of, our focus point was, being physical, playing fast, starting fast. And I just felt like we weren't physical enough. I felt like they had a lot of pressure on the quarterback. I mean, 7 sacks, that's unacceptable. It's hard to win a full game when you have 7 sacks. So I would say really just the physicality we lacked, especially in the run game. I feel like we just got to bring it more and keep working on it.
Bryce, you obviously had a few big plays throughout the course of the game, which ultimately those drives, they got stalled and kind of resulted in field goals. And a big part of that was because of penalties or holdings, things like that. How would you say, what is the offense going to do going forward to ensure things like that don't continue?
Yeah, I mean, really just in practice, we just got to just prepare better. I mean, self-inflicted wounds, there's no way to go about a game, especially in the Big Ten. So really just making sure that we're focused in practice and we don't make those mistakes that, whenever we shoot ourselves in the foot. But, yeah.
Bryce, you now played with Brendan Sullivan 2 straight games. You had that experience with him last year. What would you say from him now in his junior season, kind of a maturity standpoint, and if he is the starter moving forward, your confidence?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely poised. I love the way Brendan goes out there and he plays. Every time he steps on the field, he wants to score. And you love to see that out of a quarterback, somebody that can lead the guys, lead the offense. Because at an away game, it's hard, especially in front of, all those fans. But he didn't flinch once. So I just hope that he continues to show that as the season goes on.
Hey, Bryce, you had that 66-yarder down to the 9-yard line. You're down, I think, 17-6 at the time.
Yeah.
Can't get it in the end zone, have to settle for a field goal. How deflating is that?
Yeah, it's definitely frustrating because you always want to capitalize off a big explosive play like that, especially in the situation that we were in. I mean, it's a 1-score game. We're trying to score. It definitely hurts. It definitely, it takes the momentum away almost because we had a momentum and then they stopped us. Yeah, we got 3 points, but it's hard. It definitely it's hard to bounce back from that. But yeah, so just hard.
Bryce, after a game like this, always tough. How would you describe the mood in the locker room right now?
It's definitely the mood is not high, obviously. It's not something that we didn't come here to lose. That's for sure. So guys aren't too happy about the way things went. But biggest thing is we just got to bounce back. Coach Braun, he has a big 24-hour rule. Like 24 hours, you flush it on to the next week. So hopefully, come Monday, we throw this in the back of the rearview mirror and we're ready to go for Maryland next week.
Thank you, Mr. Bryce. Awesome. Thanks, Bryce.
Thank you.